Hello all. So hope you have followed autotrophic nutrition. We have also discussed about the revision part of the autotrophic nutrition, what are those and all the details, the photosynthesis process and all. So today let us move on to another type of nutrition, that is heterotrophic nutrition. What it is heterotrophic nutrition. So what is heterotrophic nutrition? So as I told you, the term hetero means others. So organisms which will depend upon other organisms for their food, are called heterotrophs. So children, are you a autotroph or heterotroph? Yes, we are all heterotrophs because we are depending upon either plants or animals for our food. You cannot manufacture your own food like a plant standing somewhere, you will get all your nutrients. It is not like that. So we are taking in either the plant material or the animal material to derive energy. So we are all heterotrophs. So heterotrophs are organisms which will feed on others. They depend upon others for their food. Okay, so coming to the types, when you talk about the types, we have three types of heterotrophs, namely parasites, saprophytes and holozoic organisms. Parasites, saprophytes and holozoic organisms are the three types of heterotrophs what we have. So coming to what are parasites? So parasites, these are heterotrophs which will depend upon the host organism. They depend upon the host organism. Now what is this host? An organism on which they depend by attaching to that organism. So these organisms, okay, which are called parasites, they will attach to one more organism and will start taking the nutrients from that organism. So the organism from which they are taking nutrients, those are called the host organisms. Okay, they derive their nutrients from the host organisms. So among parasites, we have the total parasites, partial parasites, ectoparasites and endoparasites. So what are total parasites? So total parasites usually we find among the plants. So the parasites which will derive both their water, food, all the requirements from the host plant, they are called the total parasites. So here we have the examples as Cuscuta and Rafflesia. So what are the examples? Cuscuta and Rafflesia are the examples of total parasites. Children, you might have seen Cuscuta many number of times, how it looks like. So how the Cuscuta looks like is, so you can see here actually. So Cuscuta actually is also called dodder or it is called armor bell. So this is a plant which will not have chlorophyll, it will not have leaves at all. So it will depend upon one more host organism. It will attach to the stem. As you can see, this is the stem of a plant on which you can see where is the Cuscuta. So the Cuscuta are nothing but, okay, you can see thin winded structures of, thin wire-like winded structures around the stem. These are the Cuscuta. So whenever you will be going, okay, on a tour, as you can see here, all winded structure is found. This is all Cuscuta. So whenever you will be going on a journey to some place, okay, so usually when you look outside from your windows of the bus or your car, you can see such type of overgrowing structures on the trees. So it will be just like a thin electrical wire, it will be growing like that. So that is what is called as Cuscuta, or it is called the armor bell, or it is called the dodder. So this is the total stem parasite, okay, what we can usually see for. And Rafflesia, you know, it is the biggest flower producing plant. Then next we have is partial parasites. Example of a partial parasite is mistletoe. Mistletoe is the example. So partial parasites, they depend upon the host organism either for food or for water. So such type of plants are called as partial parasites. Okay. Then coming to the other type of parasites, we have ectoparasites. Ectoparasites or external parasites are those which will attach to the body of the host on the outer side. You might have pet animals at your home. So on the pets you might find sometimes some small insects like insects will be attached to the hair of these pet animals if you see. So those are called, they are called the fleas. So there can be fleas, there can be ticks, there can be lice, there can be mites which are getting attached to the animal dander, that is animal hair. So these are all external parasites, even lice in our hair. So some of you might be having lice in your hair. So those lice, which are called the pelu in Telugu, so they get attached to your scalp and they will be sucking the blood. So these are all called the ectoparasites, or they are called the external parasites. Okay. Also we have the example is leech, and also most common and most dangerous ectoparasite is your mosquito, which is causing all sorts of diseases nowadays, the chikungunya, the dengue, okay, the malaria, the filaria, all that the vector is mosquito. So this mosquito actually is an external parasite, or it is an ectoparasite. Okay, it will be feeding on the blood of humans or blood of individuals. Okay, so like this we have even mosquito as the ectoparasite. We have the lice, ticks, fleas, mites, etc., which will be usually found on the animal danders, that is on the animal hair you will find these. Then next, so this is about the ectoparasite. Then we have another type of parasite, which is the endoparasite. Now what is this endoparasite? See children, if you are eating contaminated food from outside, let us suppose if you are eating some pani puri or something, and if the person's hands are not clean, what they will do, they will dip inside the vessel which is containing the pani, and they'll be giving you. So if their hands are having some contamination, some eggs of some of the worms like tapeworm, pinworm, hookworm, etc. So such type of food when you consume, what will happen? The eggs will enter inside your body and they will become worms inside the intestines. So such type of worms are the tapeworm, pinworm, hookworm, etc., which will be attaching to your intestines. So these are called endoparasites because they are present within our system. They are present within your body. So these are called endoparasites. So they attach to the intestines, they grow big in size, and they multiply there. And so usually they will be passed out through the motion, that is the stools, they will be passed out. If something is getting contaminated with this fecal matter, the stools and all, then there is a chance of getting the infection as such. And also when you are walking with barefoot in some dirty areas, where some persons have passed the feces or something like that is spread over, unknowingly if you move along, then also you will get the infections very soon, and we will have infestations of these worms inside our intestines. So what these worms do is they will sit in your intestines, and whatever food you are eating, all the main nutrients they will take up. So because of which what will happen, you will not get proper nutrients, and though you eat much also, you will be very thin and lean like that only, without getting much of the energy. So like that, these endoparasites are very, very harmful to the host. They will affect the host to a larger extent. So like this we have the different types of parasites. Next, coming to the next category of organisms, we have is saprophytes. Saprophytes. So what are saprophytes? Saprophytes are organisms which will feed on the dead and decaying matter. So dead and decaying matter. So what are these? Did we ever see saprophytes? Yes, we have seen. The mushrooms, whatever you are eating, are nothing but they are saprophytes. That is, they will be growing on all some sawdust and other material which is wetted with water. On that, if you put the spawn of the mushrooms, they will start growing. So mushrooms are a very good example of saprophytes. Commonly what we see is fungus growing on your foodstuffs. Suppose you didn't give your lunch box for washing to your mother for 1 week, let us suppose, and some foodstuff is left inside, some bread or something is there. So after this 1 week time, when you open your tiffin boxes and see, there will be all some sort of mold that will be grown on the foodstuff there. So that is nothing but it is fungus, and that is a very good example of saprophyte. So saprophytes will feed on the decaying matter, the matter which is the food material which is getting decayed. On that you have the growth of the saprophytes. So you can see I have a spoiled vegetable like this. So you have a tomato here. So this tomato is all punctured there. So if I leave this tomato for a few days, what will happen? First, all a liquid sort of material will be formed, and slowly all fungus will grow on this tomato. So like this you can find your fungus growing on all the spoiled substances, let them be vegetables. So usually saprophytes will grow on the one which will have water in it, the foodstuffs which have got water in it. So the main source for the growth of fungi is water, and dark conditions are needed. So simply actually in the lab also we can do one experiment, taking a small bread slice and then just put some water on it and then keep it aside in a dark place for about 1 week time. You can see growth of fungus on that. And with the help of pin, you can scrape the top of that, You can take the fungus, keep it on a slide and see under the microscope, wherein you'll actually see the structures. They will have big structures. So like this sporangium and all will be there, the mycelial threads, everything. The detailed structures we can observe under the microscope. So here the examples of saprophytes include mushrooms, yeast. Okay, yeast which is used in your bakery for baking all the food items is also a type of unicellular fungus. Then we have other fungi like Rhizopus, mucor, etc., which will be growing on the spoiled food materials. So these actually they have a very specialized structure which we can observe only under the microscope. In order to observe yeast under microscope, we have powder in the market. So that powder, when you mix it in water, okay, and you just keep it, not the plain water actually, you can take little bit sugar water and dissolve your yeast in that and then keep it aside. So after few hours, the multiplication of yeast cells will take place. You can take a drop of that and see under the microscope, wherein we can see the budding yeast cells like this attached to one another. You can see a chain of yeast cells like that. So like that we can see the yeast under microscope. Mushrooms as such are directly seen, and any of the vegetable which has got the growth of the fungus, we can take it on a slide and see under the microscope for the detailed structure. Okay, so like this we have the saprophytes which will be feeding on the dead and decayed matter. Then we have is next category of organisms. What we have is holozoic organisms. What are these holozoic organisms? We are all holozoic organisms. What does it mean? Are we parasites? We are attaching to someone and taking the food? No. Are we saprophytes? Are we feeding on any decayed material? No. Then what are we? We are holozoic organisms. What are holozoic organisms? The organisms which take in the food, okay, inside their body. Okay, we take in complex organic materials inside our body, and all that will be digested inside the body of the organism. Okay, and the waste will be excreted out. So such type of organisms are called the holozoic organisms. Holozoic organisms. So they take in complex organic food materials and then digest them inside the body. So all we humans, even amoeba, which can be seen only under microscope, the cats, dogs, frogs, etc., all the animals are mostly of the holozoic type. So further we will understand exactly how this holozoic nutrition takes place, because in heterotrophic nutrition we need to focus on the holozoic nutrition in humans. So we will be moving across with that in the further class. Okay.